On April 7th, 1928, during the second game of the Stanley Cup Finals, where the New York Rangers were facing off against the Montreal Maroons, the Rangers lost their goaltender due to an eye injury, and their head coach, at the age of 44, stepped in behind the net. Here's the story behind Lester Patrick saving the Rangers today on Daily Sports History. Welcome to Daily Sports History. I'm Ethan Reese, your guide to a rapid deep dive into sports history every day. Now, Lester was born in 1883 in Quebec, Canada, to Irish immigrants. And obviously, being in Canada, hockey was very popular at the time. And he grew to love sports and to love hockey and play all the time with his friends and brothers. And in 1901, he enrolled at McGill University, where he actually played basketball his first semester as a student. Then, after that, he joined the hockey team and was later invited to try out for the Montreal Shamrocks, one of the top senior teams in the city. However, that would have meant he would have had to leave college, so he declined the offer to finish his education. But he only went one more year at school before he finally dropped out to focus more on sports, as he was enjoying the sports he was playing and having much success on the ice. After working for his family business for a few years, he later joined the Canadian Pacific Railway to help make money. But on his way back from a job, he stopped and met a friend who offered him a chance to play for his team for a total of $25 a month, and they would also cover expenses. And this led him back into his love of hockey, and he would go on in 1904 to play for the Montreal Westmounts of the Canadian Amateur Hockey League. And he would continue jumping around from team to team throughout his career, playing for the Brandon Wheat Cities, the Montreal Wanderers, the Edmonton Pros, the Renfrew Creamery Kings, the Spokane Canaries, the Seattle Metropolitans, the Victoria Aristocrats, the Victoria Cougars, and the New York Rangers. And his family came along with him, selling their company to help make arenas in both Vancouver and Victoria to help house hockey games. And the arenas would be managed by the family. This helped Patrick break into coaching and allowed him to run his own teams. And of these two arenas, they were able to host 3 Stanley Cup games. Lester eventually transitioned out of being a player, becoming a player manager in 1918, and only played in half the games. And he officially retired as a player in 1922, but remained with the Victoria Cougars as their coach, and became the last non-NHL coach to win the Stanley Cup in 1925. And in 1926, Patrick actually returned to the ice to help his team that was playing very poorly. But it didn't help enough. And not too long, the team folded, and the whole league that they were in actually folded as well. In that year, he was offered a position for the New York Rangers, an expansion team for the NHL, who had now taken over the rights of the Stanley Cup. He was also named the general manager as well, and he quickly helped make the Rangers into a power in the NHL, and leading them to the 1928 Stanley Cup Finals versus the Montreal Maroons. And it was a best-of-5 series, all hosted in Montreal. And Montreal won the first game 2-0. And heading into the second game, the Rangers desperately needed a win. But unfortunately, their goalie, Laurent Chapat, was struck in the eye by a puck in the middle of the second period. And at that time, teams didn't have backup goalies on the bench. And Patrick, being the former defenseman, decided to lace up the ice. But this wasn't just him deciding right away. There was actually goalies in attendance at the game. The Ottawa Senators goalie was in the stands, and they asked if he would play, but Montreal's coach refused. There was a minor league goalie for the Pittsburgh Pirates organization in attendance as well, but they refused to let him play. So Patrick finally asked if they would allow him to play goalie for the rest of the game, and they agreed. And he told his team, "Boys, don't let this old man down," as he was 44 years and 99 days at the time he entered the game, and remains the oldest man to play in the Stanley Cup Finals. And he actually played pretty good, and he saved 18 of 19 shots, helping the team win in an overtime victory. Following the game, the league allowed the Rangers to use another local goalie for the remainder of the series. So you would think the storybook ending is the Rangers would go to win the rest of the games. Well, they actually lost the next game, 0-2. But they came back in the final 2 games and win their very first Stanley Cup Finals, 3-2, making Lester Patrick a legend for what he did to help their team win, showing a coach that went all in for his team. And Lester would go on to win 2 more Stanley Cups throughout his time with the Rangers, and is a legend within the New York Rangers community. Unfortunately, in 1960, at the age of 75, he passed away due to a heart attack after developing lung cancer. But he later had a trophy named after him called the Lester Patrick Trophy, which is given to anyone with outstanding contributions to hockey. And he will always be remembered for the day he saved the Rangers. Thank you for listening to today's Daily Sports History. If you have a topic that you would like us to cover, let us know. Send us an email at dailysportshistory@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Or if you just want to tell us how awesome I am at doing these, you can also send us an email for that as well. And come back tomorrow for more Daily Sports History.